Hey everyone, Strangers103 here, and I really don't know what I'm doing with my life. Here we go in a Bogue replay. It's a tier 5 match. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of the tier 5s on the team, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, no, it's actually the majority of them being tier 4. But the nice thing here to note is that there are no defensive anti-aircrafts whatsoever. No U-bodies here because they're the only ones that get it, although there are some ships that actually have some okay enough AA, but we're in a tier 5 carrier, so that's hopefully not going to be too big of a deal. Now, Bug versus Bug, and with AS, so it is time to double speed. Going on with a headwind launch, not like it really matters. Ship does 15 knots, it's like 16 knots, so it doesn't really matter. Slowing down a little bit at the end there as well, but to keep in mind, we're playing this replay at like super speed right now because it's a Bogue replay, and I really just want to get this done with so I can satisfy at least one person who will finally at least have seen a Bogue replay. Perhaps we'll slow it down when we see something interesting, potentially coming up like round about now. Now, since we have AS on our carrier, we probably also have air servicing for the 5% additional health. Granted, you expect that from anyone, in a carrier ever, because it's a tier 4 skill now. Khazru looks like he's committed suicide. I'm pretty sure he's Damocon the fire, so that's going to be a flooding for a while. Not sure if he's actually going to die up front from that, though, and our planes are pulled away, so we're no longer spawning anymore. In the meantime, moving our ship towards the eastern side of the map. It is incredibly important to decide on the side of the map you want to move your ship in a Bogue. And there we go, we do get the dev strike from the torpedo bombers because they did more than 50% of the target's health. Looks like our V-170 is committing suicide at the moment, so that's kind of not so good. But hey, we haven't lost any aircraft, so we have some replacements to work with, and that's always useful to have. Bogue in total don't get a lot of planes, and let me see, 14... No, we are fully upgraded, 28 aircraft total, so that's just a Bogue. You can see, you don't even have full replacements in a Bogue. You get everything wiped, you're actually out. So, I mean, it is the same with the Langley, but Langley at least gets 30 total aircraft, so, if you kill everything, you can actually get a clear sky off a Langley on your own. Not going to happen with a Bogue. You'd have to fly some float plane fighters, or float plane aircraft, which in this case, there really aren't that many of I can think of. Regardless, we dive on the Giulio Tazzara. It doesn't look like... I take that statement back. He burned for a little bit and then proceeds to damage control party it. We're basically out of dive bomber replacement. We can lose one more plane without penalty. Sending our fighters... there we go. Sending our fighters to go tag onto the enemy dive bomber. Enemy fighters aren't yet approaching, but we need to ensure that we do not actually get them panic locked by the enemy fighter. Going for the torpedo bomber, and there you go. That's going to be a really, really bad day for the enemy Giulio Tazzara. Remember to re-tag. I'm not sure we got the tag off or not, but the tagging the enemy fighters there is incredibly important. That way we don't actually get panic tagged, and we ensure that we have the highest chance of winning. And there we go. This battle is basically won right now. Looks like we keep 4 alive. So, well, we're actually going to be down to 6-plane squad because low amount of replacements, but Giulio Tazzara is currently getting melted. We're almost up to 60,000 damage. The guy had a damage control party up now, so hopefully the team will be able to finish that off. Breaking away the attack so we don't actually get him into the enemy's anti-aircraft range. Very good decision there, but somehow this Giulio Tazzara is still alive. Could be useful to spot the Mutsuki, but Mutsuki A actually ain't bad. So, it could go either way, really. But it's time to start picking up the enemy Kaiser Orion and Torpedo Bomber, Dive Bomber, good old damage over time sequences should easily be able to do good work there. Pick up a lot of damage for us. In the meantime, though, we also need to make sure we have at least one flank secure. So it might actually be an idea to try to pick up the enemy forces on the eastern side of the map, because currently, well, we don't have control of anything. They still have more destroyers alive than us, so this match could turn out to be rather awkward if we're not careful. Kaiser damage control parties, as most people at this tier do, so it's time to go in with the torpedo bombers and make a mess out of him, especially since that smoke ain't going to last. Enemy fighters are coming along because he doesn't have AS, he gets 3 fighters there. So losing this torpedo bomber here is going to be really, really, really bad if we lose the entire thing. Hopefully our rear gunners might be able to pick up a kill, and we can get our fighters there fast enough so we don't lose any more planes, but I don't think it's going to happen. So that's... If we lose any more plane, nope, we actually get away with it, and because he can't actually disengage strafe off that, we're actually still kind of fine. Definitely would be the right thing to turn the ship around the other way right now. We can't kill all this stuff on time before they actually start getting to us. And unfortunately, we can't actually stop the strike against the Congo, so definitely it's time to pay attention to our ship and try to get it moving. Probably would have been a better idea to clear out the Charlie side of the map, because the thing is, though, trying to turn back to defend is not necessarily always a good idea, but we are playing a giant pile of turd ship tier 5, so not much we can do about it. Swapping to the torpedo bomber there, good choice overall, and we liquidate the enemy's Kaiser, good job, but there's no real way we can guarantee ourselves a kill on the Mutski. It just is not physically possible. And, well, I mean, currently, at least the other flank is secure, so continuing to have parked our ship on the Charlie side would have actually been a lot better of a thing. And we're now surface spotted with no real assurances of us actually being able to deal with it. Mutski's trying to torpedo us, and our Shenyang actually takes out the Karlsruhe, so that's a fair, useful thing for us there. Enemy no longer has enemy fighters, so that's perfectly fine. We can use our fighters to be spotting. I wouldn't be using the dive bombers. I'd cycle them to knock out the Orion, but the boat floats down the Congo, and I believe he himself also got himself a liquidator up. Yep, he also liquidates the Congo, which is a little bit awkward of a situation. Hopefully the Mutski will die to this. I highly doubt it, though, because, you know, he's easily able to evade auto drops. If you can't avoid auto drops in a destroyer, you're doing something massively wrong. Keeping the enemy Shenyang spotted for our Shenyang to shoot inside of the smoke screen also reduces the chance of us getting torped. But at the moment, while the enemy team only has one battleship, it is the battleship chasing us. Our anti-aircraft ain't bad, so we can make a mess out of that dive bomber squadron. But if we had been supporting these in flying, chances are we would have been in a much better position right now. That is with our own ship. Shenyang is trying to plink, I guess, and the enemy boat flew up the front to then try to drop, so that's not going to work out very well. Mutski is chasing us. Nothing we can do about that. Nothing we can... Yeah, there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. So the right thing really is just to click on the enemy's Orion and try to knock that out. And hope the team can actually deal with the Mutski. But it's highly improbable. Looks like the Orion is just damage controlling, so we can now go in for the attack. Auto drops are perfectly fine here. Nothing we can do about the Mutski again. Just sit there and hope that our secondaries maybe do something about it. Hope that our Shenyang can do something about it. Hope that we can make the enemy's... battleship turn into the Shenyang torpedo as well, but unfortunately we end up taking too many torpedoes and go down. Chances are Shenyang isn't going to live through this either, especially since for some reason there seems to be... Oh, never mind, those are the... those are V shells, but yeah, he actually gets away with that, but maybe they can kill the V? Maybe they can kill his V without losing the Shenyang. If the Shenyang can do that, then there actually is still a small chance, but his aim doesn't seem to be on point, and one more hit on Shenyang, he's going to go down, but he gets away with it really, really close there. Enemy aircraft carrier is basically completely out of the game as we pick up our second liquidator there, but the enemy boat has actually gotten his damage off already, and we're dead, so that's kind of awkward. Granted, we get 2 liquidators, we get our Witherer, we also get a lot of the good damage. We've ordered our fighter to escort the allied Iron Duke, so that's also a very good move. However, without being able to find the enemy's Shenyang, and I probably would have ordered them to escort the Shenyang instead, because they could serve potentially as an early warning for the Shenyang, in case they fly around the island. It'll serve as a float plate fighter for him, and, well, that would basically give him the ability to, you know, maybe get the jump on the V-170 and have his guns pre-aimed to kill him. However, at the moment, well, the Shenyang is so low on HP, but V's actually in B, so if they can kill him, there's a small chance that these two guys can split up. One goes to A, one goes to C, but with only 3 minutes left of the game, there just is not enough time. You know, losing our own ship there really did hurt. Go, our plane has now expired. Pushing into the cap, it's completely irrelevant. Even if they kill the V-170, unless the Bogue is right by the island, it is also completely irrelevant. They have to kill the Bogue at this point. There is no time for capping. There's no time for any kind of play there. Looks like the V opens fire on our Shenyang, so it's down to the Iron Puke to kill the V, and it doesn't seem like the Iron Puke is getting the kill in there, so this is definitely not going to go well, especially if you're going to turn and take torpedoes. Only takes 1, which is fine, but again, unless this salvo gets him, and I think he shot it way too far, it's not going to matter. Small chance the Iron Puke could even go down, but like the enemy Bogue is completely out of planes, as we can see, 28 plane kills on our end. Try for some blind shots, but those are about 2 kilometers shot over his head, so that's not even close to giving him a new haircut at all. But you can always just try to go back and retorp the Iron Puke, and get the flooding, he's going to do some damage, because Puke, well, damage control parties at this time, you know, unless you're running Prem, it's not going to matter. And considering his position, chances are he wouldn't be running it. So yeah, a bit of an unfortunate loss there. Definitely the right thing there would have been to move the ship towards C, focus on attacking C, so you at least have one secure flank, instead of trying to deal with a flank coming up behind. Without manual drop, there's nothing you can do about the Mutski, so, there's no real chance of winning that. Even if we did take out the battleships, which we did, it still wouldn't really have mattered in the end. Clearing out the V, clearing out the flank, and then coming back could potentially have given us at least some of a chance, because at the end of the day there, keeping ourselves alive is really what mattered. Anyway, seeing a inexistent US Bismarck class heavy cruiser is always kind of triggering, but hey, whatever. 151,000 damage in a tier 5 Bogue is certainly a very impressive result. Double Liquidator, people seem to be very keen on damage control partying their fires. High Caliber, duh. Witherer, duh. So, these kind of go hand in hand if you get Double Liquidator and the Devastating Strikes on top of that, so, it's to be expected. Deplane the entirety of the enemy's Bogue, however, no float planes. We would have needed 2 float planes to get ourselves a clear sky due to the 30 plane limitation. But with the upcoming patch basically removing the half of the planes, the limitation, it basically means that it's going to be basically not possible to get a clear sky below tier 7. You can do it at tier 6, but I think it's 55 planes, which is, you need to basically deplane 2 carriers. Well, 2 independences of 30 planes is actually almost not enough. Granted, if they are top hull, they get 37, but you still need to pull some serious work to get that. It's only at tier 7 where an actual individual carrier gets enough aircraft to get you a clear sky. Granted, 55 planes is around about the clear sky value required at tier 7, currently in a 1 versus 1 game, if there are enough float plane fighters that have been launched, because a tier 7 carrier has 72 aircraft generally, minus Saipan, in which case you're not getting it either, because 48 planes, you'd have to deplane the entirety of the Saipan, and then get some bonus float planes on top. Anyways, 3 kills, and, well, 2 liquidated out of the 3 kills is pretty impressive. Having looked at the team scores, we're pretty naturally on top of the scoreboard. We're also, in fact, above anyone else on the team, but be that the winning or the winning team here or the losing team here. Both gets 8 plane kills, which you kind of expect. Some of those were our torpedo bombers, but in the end, we didn't find ourselves actually deplaned, so that did not matter. Detail report screen, Orion 47, Kaiser 46, very similar damages over there. Got the Karlsruhe on top of that, plus 36k off the Gilead Tatar, who actually got a damage control party back up again to stop the flooding, so that's a fair share to him. Plus 7 fighters, 5 dive bombers, 4 torpedo bombers, so, I mean, none of the fighter losses really mattered because, Bogues don't have any replacements, so we just got rid of them, and that was GG. 5 dive bomber losses didn't matter in the end either. We got the fires that we wanted to, and you see 69k flooding damage, and that's really the kind of things you want to go for. All of these guys were attacked with flooding damage over time, which is the absolute perfect thing you can do. Theoretically, except you're attacking a carrier, then the HE dive bombers can set fires and let them burn, which is perfectly good as well, because fire damage do bonus damage against carriers. In fact, it did 33% more damage to aircraft carriers for a single fire than they would do to any other ship. Percentage-wise, I think it's 0.4% instead of 0.3% per fire per second, so that basically is a lot of extra damage once it stacks up. So fire damage definitely is dangerous to carriers. Now, even if we had dodged the Mutski's torpedoes, you don't get much health, so 2 torpedoes is still the vast majority of health, but even if we had dodged them, chances are we still would have just been shot to death. Although, if we hadn't died, we had killed the V, we had killed the Mutski, we had been able to continue spotting, perhaps we could have taken C, and perhaps we could have sunk the enemy carrier, so in the end, if we hadn't died, I would say there is a reasonable chance we could have pulled through a victory, but unfortunately, losing the ship does mean you're going to lose the game in a lot of cases, unless the enemy team, really, really throws it away and it's a destroyer going down the back of the map to hunt the carrier that killed you at the end and, barely managed to succeed in the process. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this rather short and sped up replay cast. You kind of don't need to speed up Bogue replays or any low tier carrier replay like this, mostly because it's just incredibly boring to watch because you don't have manual drops. So, I mean, at least it gives you a lot more time to think about your strategy and to think about your long-term plays. But in the end, without the speed to actually, act upon them, trying to overthink them probably won't get you too far either. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know a certain somebody will. Finally a Bogue replay on my channel, right? Kill me already. But yes, take care, have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!